Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's workshop. unlock your potential in a steel structure project in TS. So today, we are very proud to invite Mr. Chris, right? Mr. Chris, which is our proficient level holder, right? Together to share with us on the current construction industry, especially on the steel structure projects. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Right. So for today, before we start for our workshop, we're going to have some rundown. So the first thing we're going to talk about on the topic background, right? So what is the current construction industry on the steel structure project? On the introduction part, any conventional measurement methods and also the software, what is the relation, okay? And also what is the drawback from each of the methods, right? And then we're going to talk about a sneak peek of the case study from Chris. Okay, so Chris is the very successful modeler in the market, and also we have some conclusions. And yes, we do have these Q&A sessions. So meanwhile, the whole process of the workshop, if you have any question, please feel free to drop it in the chat box, right? To drop it in the chat box. So today, I'm looking at the participant is striking around 60 or 70 packs, right? It's very overwhelming, although we're going to have our Hari Raya festive season holiday. So for those, if you are driving, okay, you are driving on the highway and then listening to our workshop, yes, please be careful. And also, if you are still in office, stay with us for another 1.5 hours, right? Stay with us, right? So I believe you guys can bring back something, not only on the knowledge, maybe some insight, okay, that we can actually able to share with you guys. Okay, so before that, so we're going to talk about all the steel, right? So the current construction industry, the steel is the major commodity in the global economy, right? And the factor that influence the steel price are actually often complex, right? So we have the cost of the raw material, the weather, right? The oil price to transport from one location to another location, okay? And also supply demand. Okay, supply demand, it will be, if you guys still old enough, in 2008, when Beijing, China is going to construct the stadium, it used a lot of steel. Okay, it's actually indirectly the demand is more than supply, so the price strike very high. And lastly, will be on the new tariff, right? On the new tariff. So domestic steel mills, they are adjusting the price due to the potential increases in our commodity prices, as the market sources from, say, and the European long steel prices are expected to rise in the coming weeks. Okay, so rising the material sand, the skyward to the pandemics, and also increase the material and energy costs are negatively impacting the contractor, handling both government and also the private projects. Right. So talk about the builders. Builders may also charge the hidden fees to mask the high of the steel prices, right? So a less obvious way that the steel price can actually drive up the cost to erect a pre-engineered model, okay, the metal buildings model, is through a shady business practices, right? So in order to draw the customer in, okay, some steel building suppliers will quote on the low prices of the steel material, and then they charge back on the hidden fees to mark up the increased price of the steel. So that will be the current scenario that we have currently, right? So in order to draw the customer in, okay, that's why I said this now, okay, those businesses attract the customer by quoting the material they are significantly lower than the competitor, and then includes the multiple unexpected charges on the final bill to make up the initial price discrepancies, right? So to protect yourself against these deceptions business tactics by locking in a fixed quote for your building before construction begins, right? You can also ask the builder directly if you are providing a pre-tariff price and determine where the additional fees you should expect, right? So now, if you can see, so those are the highlights, okay? What are the highlights that we have for the 8th Malaysia for this week, 25th of April? The highlight: cost, labor, headwinds threaten the construction's recovery. We also have the steel mills warn on the price hike, and we also have a steep hike in the price building material from MBN to call for immediate government interventions. So those are the things that we keep talking about after the pandemic, the endemic that we are talking about. Okay, the MOH are talking about the endemic, right? So from here, those are some picks that we have from the chief executive from CIDB, Dato Asri, says about the ongoing awarded before the pandemic are especially affected. So those are the things, right? Dato say that the increase in the material prices will raise the construction cost by 8 to 15%, which is quite a lot. Okay? If the project didn't have the VOP, the variance of price, if you didn't have this variance of price clauses, for sure your project will be affected a lot, especially for the contractor sides. Right. So here there will be another quote. Right. So from here, how are we going to overcome it? In order for us to overcome, we need to have a large scale of the construction companies such as the Glodon, the IJM, and also with the strong cash flow like Kerja Prospect. Right. So they're actually more insulated from impacting. They are better able to manage their costs. On how? Right. So for example, for Garuda, they actually buy our software for TBQ. For Kerja Prospect, they have our TSTRB software. So those are the things they are actually step by step moving forward. Digitization in resultant, they are actually able to manage their costs if the price hike. So there will be the question. Should I wait to construct the metal building until the price of the steel stabilizes? Right. So the answer will be no. Right. So while it might seem off-putting to begin the constructing of metal buildings when the price of the steel is on the rise, right now is the optimal time to begin the construction. So we never know the construction's material price whether it's going to go down. We don't know. Okay. Only God knows maybe. Okay, so it seems unlikely the steel is going to decrease anytime soon, and the cost of the steel is rising continuously. So as long as the supply and demand for the steel remain unbalanced, the price will continue to increase. Okay, it will continue increasing. And erecting a pre-engineered steel buildings will likely cost less now, and it will be not too distant future. In addition to the rising cost of the steel, the growing economy will lead to increase the interest rate as well due to the inflation. Right. So businesses looking to build will be doing a better to begin the construction as soon as to avoid the further increases in building costs and also the loan interest rate. Right. So as long as the economy is doing well, the company continue to build, the steel industry will continue to increase already rising building costs. Right. So despite the fluctuating and turbulent global economy, the steel buildings are unmatched. When it comes to the high durability and longevity for the price. So even with the increased price, the pre-engineered building kits are more affordable than the traditional construction method. So most of the developers, you will see, they are slowly adopting those steel structure in our main projects. So when we talk about the steel structure, we not talk about on the permanent structure. We also talk about the temporary structure. Right. So for example, for the underground works, underground station, they need a lot of the temporary structure because when they want to put the tunnel boring machines down to the maybe 20, 30 meter downwards, they need to have a retaining structure. So those retaining structure is also a steel structure that we have. So yes, those are the things, those are the factors we're going to control it well if the price of the steel is uncontrollable. So there we go. We're going to talk about on the quantity part, which is the expert from Chris, right? So with that, going to have an introduction of Chris, perhaps. Chris, welcome.
Yeah, hi Sam. Thanks for everything.
Yeah.
So a rapid introduction for myself. I've been using Cubicos since 2005. You can see from here in the background. 2005 until now using also have a cert proficiency level for TSC.
Chris, you slowly expose your age already.
Exactly. I'm not young anymore, you see. So I have the certificate for the proficiency level for TSC C and TRBC C, and also have completed more than 30 projects and using Glodon software, included hospital, schools, and mixed development and as well. So later on, I will show you some sneak peek on the project. Yeah, in the later video, you're able to see all these things.
So I presume all the project that you are using, some of it might include a lot of the steel structure, right?
Yes, I will pick 3 of them using steel structure and release a video. Later you can have a look on my previous project. Right. Yes. So this is my cert. I got it since last year, 2021. And then this is TASC
Yeah, it will be TRB, it will be TS.
Yes, exactly.
So a little bit commercial. So if you are the basic holder, basic certificate holder, please feel free, okay, to boost yourself confident enough to register for the intermediate certificates, right? So make sure you have a validity expiry date. If your basic level certificate is expired in 2021, feel free to let us know. Okay, we're going to assist you to renew it. Okay, perhaps you need to resubmit the model, and then you can actually upgrade yourself to become intermediate or expert or proficient level, right?
Yeah, I'm going for level, expert level as well this year.
Right. So the next thing.
Yeah, I also won, not won, the second runner up for the BIM Context 2019. Yeah.
You changed a lot, Chris, from the picture.
It's before COVID, after COVID, we can go out, then I stick at home, can't just have to big diet and exercise, so eventually do some weights.
I can see you have a healthy lifestyle, but not for me, I think. Right. So yeah, okay, so without further ado, we're going to talk about the discussion first point. So we will talk about on conventional methods, measurement, and software. Okay, so I believe Chris, you started software by using in 2015, right? So before 2015, maybe can you share about whether do you do the manual measurement using the steel structure? Okay.
Yeah, if I were to compare between conventional versus right now, I would say the first point would be time saving. The time saving in sense of right now, with the software, we're able to see 3D.
Okay.
This is part of the advantage. As you can see, compared with manual measurement, we have a lot. We already have a lot of drawings like let's see the layout, all right, section. Okay, and then elevation, details, maybe general notes, all this drawing. If you were to want to model a single piece of the thing, you have to have all this involved together. So sometimes in conventional method, which is manual taking off, you have to sometimes you draw some sketches.
Yes.
You get a very good imagination of those parts.
I need to use my color pencil.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Color it and draw a sketch. Then you can have a clear picture, and then you can start model the thing. Make sure you don't model it wrongly.
Yeah.
But in compared to software, right now we can do 3D, which is a game changer since Glodon software coming to Malaysia.
Yes.
So as you can see, you can model this thing fast in 3D form, and also easy to teach as well. You can see because you no need to have too many experience on the construction. Just like the new training, they were easy by looking at the 3D, by catching on the self, they can play around it, then they will eventually know, this thing is looks like, how it's gonna look like, and then second floor and third floor, and it's quite easy to teach and easy to understand as well. Then also no need to require to go to site too often. I remember the time last time that my senior said, if you do not know anything, confused, go to the site. Then you have a look. So right now we have this model, so we can reduce the time going to the site. It will save you more time using.
Understand. One other question, Chris. When you do your measurement, when you said you need to have a layout, you need to have a section, you need to have detail. If maybe you have a soft drawing, for example, for the steel structure, or should you have soft drawing, and then have a detailed drawing, typical. So how big your table will you measurement?
Table, wow.
How big a table you need for you to put your A0 drawing?
Before that, because during the time back to 2013, starting working, we have a lot of hard copy. See the table is like that big. You got A1 and A3, then part of the spreadsheet. Yes. And then all this stuff added together. So we're going to imagine a single thing of those parts, small part only, because some of them they are not okay with the drawing. We don't know the area. So we require to sketch, get the picture of it before we actually need to do the takeoff. Yes, because if you do not know the thing, how do you then make takeoff on that thing?
Yeah, correct. So pretty square, I think Chris is actually talking about that when we want to do the modeling, you need to understand more on the drawing first. Exactly. To understand more on drawing, you need to have your color pencil, your highlighter, so everything prepared when you think better.
Sometimes, during my time when I'm young, I don't have much experience, but then also very busy. I just had to stay at the drawing for quite some time, magically. I will appear here in my head. So it's not quite an efficiency method. because right now we have a lot of options already.
Yes.
Like the software, correct, and we have Zoom is best way is that we can leverage on this 3D to
Yes.
skill on the to save more time so
Yes.
the company can do more job
Mhm.
and then can go back early. No way OT. This is an interesting part for all of you.
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know what the OT.
Okay, talk about the 3D. So any other points we think? Maybe on the traceability or anything?
Yes, exactly. Another part is traceability.
I see.
What I mean by traceability is that you can imagine we have all these records in a spreadsheet. If I compare with manual measurement, manual takeoff, conventional method. So we have all this thing. Then after we take off, we put for quite some time.
Yes.
When your senior or your boss asks you, hey, how do you take off this part? Show me this thing.
Show me this thing. Okay.
So it's very hard that everyone can have the same like immediate recall on the thing. So because we in the QS we do handle a lot of stuff, not only one. So we have to like handle testing as well, other stuff on site, and then also taking off other projects, not only this project. So it will make it very difficult to trace.
Yeah.
However, in using Glodon software, we got this function called reverse check by
Reverse check model.
Check model.
Yeah.
If you done correctly, this whole model will tie into your drawing.
Okay.
And it becomes very easy to let you record.
Understand.
Even it's because we can do 3D.
Yes.
And also by using these features, very easy that we can record back on the time how we do on this part. Because our brain also it has 3D will make it more memorable compared with the manual takeoff.
Yes, true. Yeah. So maybe let's say if I have a project today, the project duration for sure will be 3 to 4 months. Sorry, not months, too fast with that pass, right? 3 to 4 years. So I think Chris bring a very good point is that with the traceability, let's say I'm doing it manually, I'm doing it in the BIM sheets or Excel. I do not know what is the traceability of this distance, this dimension getting from each drawing. Right?
Yes, exactly. Then we just come to another part, another best feature is that reporting.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing is reporting means that you need a lot of bookkeeping. Right. For example, you need after you in conventional method, after you've done everything, you need to let's say your drawings, you mark it on the drawings, you highlight it.
Yes.
And then you put on the taking off. Okay. The take off that you and also the sketches and also all the Excel that you have done.
Yes.
So we have to safekeeping for quite some time. Usually is that after a period of time, let's say half a year, maybe 1 year, you need to take again those things and record it back. So it's also very impossible is that we all know the construction industry, people come in and people go.
Yeah. So quite often.
Yes, usually
quite often.
We do just like we usually dedicate for this one. Let's say this trainee will do this part and okay, QA will do that part. So after we merge everything and then we keep all this thing in our record. So after a period of time, this QS they say they are not working anymore. So all this record, you need to ask another QS, this whole thing. Yes. Then you suddenly be even though I can say this is thing is correct, if you can't explain this well, you might have to rework on this one. Yeah. Another part of that is just now Sandy mentioned about material prices go up. Yes. We can't control on the material. Yeah. But one thing we can control is our productivity. Yes, correct. Yes. Truly. For the operation cost in your company. If you can control it well, no need to too many reworks. Yes. It might save you money and time on this operation cost. Yes. And in TSC as well, in Glodon software, if you done it correctly, you might need one TSC, one TRDC, and one TBQC. Okay. So all this is you're taking off this tree. Yeah. So all the data is collected inside just these three, these two folders is TS and TRB, and the TBQ will be usually in the system. Yes. Alright. It's only these two folders. Yeah. If you done correctly. So you want to trace it back. Combination of the 3D function and also traceability function is sufficient enough to let you trace back those data that you have done but others, maybe you delegate to other QS and then they combine together and it'll be very easy to report on the existing data without doing too much redo all this thing.
Yes, correct. So I think Chris is bringing up a very good point on the reporting part. A personal experience is I previously I did, before I exposed to Glodon, previously I did for manual measurement with the reporting and reading sheet for all the drawings also in hard copy. So let's say the project is going to end. Okay, so we're going to pack it, okay, we archive it, okay, in an archive box, and then we store it to our store, maybe store shop. Okay, we're going to store it. So meanwhile, okay, let's say you haven't finished the finalization of account, so you need to refer the drawings. How are you going to refer the drawings? Oh, I need to drive my way to maybe 1 to 2 hours to the shop, okay, to the Glodon, okay, and then to find out the archive box, to take back from the list, take out the drawings, and then bring back to office and to recheck everything. So from here, the productivity, as you said, will be double it up. Okay. So from here, you are also wasting a lot of time to do the tracing. Okay. So I believe our software able to, as you mentioned, the traceability in the reverse step model. And if you're using the 3D, you are able to do the 3D. You can measure it confidently. You know what you're actually measuring for. Right. And lastly, will be on reporting. We actually store every single reporting. That's actually quite neat, quite nicely. So, Chris, can you share about on before pandemic and during pandemic and currently how you see the situations?
Yes. Before everything is like normal, using the same method, it's okay. It's struggling. So it's also okay for productive industry.
Yes.
However, when the COVID hit on 2020,
yes,
the day I remember the COVID hit and we start on the MCO. The things
I thought it's our anniversary thing.
The whole thing's different, right? Okay. We all know that during the COVID time MCO, we can't move.
I need to bring my desktop back home.
Yes.
Okay. So
if you have the desktop, then you will have to bring your desktop, which is no, it's not very easy thing, you know. Have to unplug all this information that company utilities and always put it itself in your house.
Yeah.
So well, for me, I don't really like effect because all the while since 2001, I've been working remotely.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been having my client to model all this stuff. Cases usually like ask me to go to office.
Yes.
Before that. But right now, for even better, we have a Zoom meeting. By using Zoom, I can just sit on my home, at my comfort of my own home, and then at my workstation, I just present just the way, just like this.
Yes.
Just like what you guys doing, sitting on your own seat comfortably and watching what we talk.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing. Yeah. Also, not only that, by during the COVID time, this actually work remotely. Actually help is that we leverage a lot on the software such as Zoom, cloud-based software.
Yes.
And then one of them is a national Glodon software.
Yeah.
So it will help to reduce the risk of COVID transmission. Yeah, I hope this COVID will go away as soon as possible. I don't want this virus. It's actually very headache.
Yes, correct.
So, but we know that this COVID, we start to have variants.
Yeah.
Easy thing is I don't think it's quite easy. Even though right now we can take out our mask and then go out at the park area.
Yeah.
But eventually we still know that the risk is still there.
Yes.
Yeah. And also the COVID patient will take around 1 week time to recover. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's say we can't just hope sitting down there hope. And do nothing. So hope is actually not a good strategy. Well, actually, some we talk about COVID patient 1 week, right, recovery. Sometimes we talk about this is mild syndrome only. We don't talk about long COVID. We haven't talked about it. If long COVID is that some people will have more severe, so we need more time to recovery. It will eventually affect directly on your company operation cost.
Yes.
So your operation cost, is it fully utilized? And not only that, not just operation cost, what I can see. The best part is I myself see that my client missed out good opportunity because of the operation cost interrupted.
Okay.
They can't move to full speed, the full operation.
Yes.
That's why they might miss some of the good opportunity when it come out.
Yeah.
Yes, this not only like reduce on your company operation cost, but also effect on your revenue.
Yeah.
Indirectly.
True.
Yeah. So by using on leverage on technology, I think it's the only way, or also the most efficient way that it can help during this period of time. And also another next few years. Well, we actually, for me, is I believe that we can prepare for the worst and expect for the best.
Yeah, and change for necessity, I believe. So Chris is actually giving his talk, his own experience during the pandemic time, right? So I still remember when my pandemic time, I need to carry all the hardware, go back home. Especially, I didn't expose to Glodon, so I need to carry my A0 drawing. A0 drawing, anyone can imagine, the A0 drawing back home. So if my house is actually bungalow, there will be no problem. I have a lot of floor area. So I'm actually staying in condominium. I don't have so many floor area. I don't have so many big tables. So meanwhile, it actually brings a thinking, a thinking for me especially, personally, what are the other ways that actually can overcome this issue. So in order, let's say my house is not big, you need to share, maybe I need to share with my dog, with my housemate. So it's kind of disturbing in our life. So I think this is actually another way, another thinking of social life on how we're going to do on digitization, how it actually can help us. So
before we start this talk show, I just talk with Sam, about work remotely. It's not about we call it more emotion. I say, if you work remotely, then you have more time with your family, no? Actually, yes, have more time, quality time with family. I'm during the time, because I've been not working full time for quite some time, not stationed in office, I stay at home. So I've been having more time with my family. I don't feel any different during COVID. However, there are two stories I want to share. It's all from my client. They just told me personally. So the first story is that she's a QS. So it's around 30 plus, and also she's a friend of mine. And also a mother of one child. The child's quite 5, 6, quite small child. So she never talked about work remotely before. So when the COVID hit, we have no choice but to have to work at home. Doing work at home during the MCO, moving control in other countries, we call it lockdown. So the government don't allow us to go back to office, and we have no choice but to work on home. So she told me that actually work on home, she's unexpected things that, I did not know that I can work so flexible and increase my productivity at more time. And also she able to have more time, and then with her kids, play with her kids, teach her kids about teaching, and then also have to watch. And the best part is she told me that she able to watch her kid grow up. So it's quite touching for her parents.
Yes.
And because why? She said that during full time, back in full time, so we waste a lot of time. She wastes a lot of time on traveling. So traveling, stuck in jam, and then gossip in the company, not actually not working, actually
everything linked back to productivity.
Yes, water cooler conversation, talk about all this nonsense. So they, by working at home, they convert this into quality time with our family members. So her kids. So she told me that I wish that I can work remotely as long as possible. So for me, when she told me about this, I'm single. For me, kids are like supposed to be put on daycare. I know parents will take care of it. So I don't actually know what she's talking about, but I can sense that it's quite authentic. It's quite real that she.
Understand.
And the second story is that the loss of talent, the loss of great talent. This is a friend of mine. He is a very young QS, a very talented, very young, around 26, 25. I think I met him last year. So his job is a site QS. So he told me about this. That construction is already a dangerous job. We risk our life every day. Because things fell down, then you get injured, then you can't work no more. So not only that, when the COVID hit, he had no choice but to go to site, and then have to close contact with a lot of more site person. So he get very fed up because of this. My job is very high risk, and then I got not enough pay some more payments, right? Some more we have to face this COVID thing again. My health and my family health will be at risk. So eventually he decided, and last year he just like straight away not working at construction anymore, go to other industry to find a job there. Yeah, that's why I can say it's a lost talent on the industry.
Yeah, I understand. Truly understand. So Chris is actually sum up for these sections for the conventional method versus the software method. It will be the one thing will be on productivity.
Yeah,
it will be on productivity.
Yeah, I believe that during this situation, it's the best that we need to leverage more on technology.
Yes.
Rather than using back to what we had done before. I don't think those methods actually really have productivity and really works at this situation. We should more leverage on the software more.
Understand that. So when talk about productivity, let's see what Chris using our product, or QE cost product, to model out what are the some of our case study, the successful case study. It will be the sneak peek on our case study by Chris. So Chris, can you briefly introduce to us what is this project for?
This is a school project that I done last 2 years. So this project is actually a Sarah project. That's why I say road remodeling. You know, I've never been to a site before. I don't know how to model.
You can see water tank.
You can see I model most of the steel structure all together.
Yes.
Water tank. You see all these are steel structure. When I take off the roof, you can see much more clearly how these structures are actually modeled inside the software.
So I think even the water tank you actually model out, you fully utilize on the function in TS to model everything.
Yes, my personally not only water tank, the toilet holder, like all these things is using the quantity, the custom quantity that we take off on that area.
Yeah.
So let's just back to what I just said. One model, one TS, one TRB, and one TBQ.
Understand.
These three ideas. To store this whole thing together, this whole data. And then it will able to trace back very easily.
So this is very interesting things. Even the details of all the main members, okay, the component or even the components for the bracings, everything you are actually modeling out.
Yes. Another project, this is the national school that I done quite some time, like in 2017. So I'm also using this is the first try I'm using the Glodon software, model the steel trusses.
So I think there are some similarities. Every project, especially for the roof floor, roof level, they will be using underwater. They will be using this steel structure as their structures.
Mostly at the roof.
Roof
and mostly
maybe entrance.
Entrance and roof. I think all these are the wing bracing.
Yeah, these bracings, the trusses.
The trusses.
So what is actually you differentiate in terms of color?
Our color is that the difference of steel I use.
Okay.
So the gray color is that the same type of the steel is a C channel.
Okay.
So same kg, right? Why I need to separate by color is that when the client asks how many of this quantity this steel consists of, so I can just straight away highlight it and show you all this quantity and the location for the specific area.
Right. So you differentiate in terms of color by the component of the steel members.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. So they can easily to track the whole thing and then they can visualize before this actually built up. They can show you visualize this thing.
Right. So this is your ID. Okay. So all the bracing here.
So what you can see from here is quite easy to understand, right?
Yes, correct.
Compared with manual measurement, I give you a spreadsheet, tons of that. And this one is the C channel. How many of them?
So it will be the first point you are saying, the view 3D.
Yeah, after some others, back on my point, back up my point is that, in 3D, I think it's quite different, right? If you can view my project.
So that's why you're the expert.
Not expert, we just want to make the construction better.
Yeah. And also the productivity.
Plus point for your client as well. If they are asking more on the when your client asks how these things looks like, then you can say, my quantity is like this. Even your building is not built yet. I can tell you where this quantity located. Yeah. So it's also a plus point when you talk to a client.
It's also added value as maybe as a QS. Not only we provide the quantity, not only we provide the tender document and then the estimation. So we are actually building up our own value and to let the client know that we are better than as a QS. We are a BQS, I can say, right?
Save time on meeting, I can say. This is one of the projects that you can see the swimming pool down there.
Even the swimming pool finishes, what the mosaic tiles, you're also able to draw it.
Yeah, almost everything can be drawn. These are all the glasses. All the glasses over here.
This is the steel also.
There's a steel trusses.
I see.
Steel.
Maybe mostly will be a podium side, right?
This is the top rooftop podium, and then this one of the mixed development.
So there will be a similarity. Every project you will be using some of the structure. Yes, unavoidably the weightage is not much, but there was still the quantity that actually brings to our total construction cost, which is very, very important. Than what we said on the steel price is hiking. What we can control is not on the price. God can control the price. We can control the quantity.
Yes.
And either by manual or by software, up to your choice. Right? So that will be on our case study from Chris. Okay, tremendous work. Right. So we dig down on the steel structure. Okay. Maybe Chris, can you share with me on how you actually model it in TSC? Okay.
Yes. So right now I will compare it's the same project. I'm using the same project, the international school. So right now I've done two videos. One is using TSC 2019 version, and the other one is
20 this year, yes,
TSC4 C4. Right now in this video is a 2019 version. As you can see, this video, the length of this video is around
12 minutes.
Yeah, 12 minutes. It's quite long. Okay. And this you can see how I model using the previous software.
Yes,
it's quite tedious. So first of all, I had to move that section down here, and then plug it beside the layout. From here, I need to scale this whole thing.
Yes.
Again, and then move it correctly.
All right. Very important.
Yeah. So before that,
user, very important.
It is quite tedious. Right now, we do not need to do this anymore. Better to it. So as well, the drawing has to get it right. Yes. Then you only start on the modeling.
So this you're actually using a steel composite beam, right?
Yes, exactly. Compare with the latest versus this 19 version, there is that they have more library on over here. Inside this element. When you click into on the TSC form, they have more library option. I think most of the steel structure can be located directly from there.
Yes.
Compare with this version is that you have to type manually.
You have to manually key in.
Yes,
in
this version, 19 version, you don't have much library, so you have to take out your list of steel. Or steel
from the supplier.
Yes, from supplier, maybe or from other past project. So you have to key in exactly what is this thing, what is that thing. You have to search all this
kg per meter.
Yes, this SHS and then all this steel channel, what the size, actual size, the size times with the thickness, and then get on the length as well, and also the kg, the weight. So you have to manually type all this part, which is quite
Yes.
Compare with the latest software.
You should have many source of referencing. Only you get one quantity.
Yes. Okay. So right now you do not need to do that. Mostly, I can say most of the steel structure, the steel data is inside the software, so you can save a lot of time just by that alone. Yeah. So right now, what I'm doing is that I have to do elevation.
Okay. Oh my God.
This is the part that doing why, because I did receive my client there. So I want to model steel structure using Glodon software. You should. You should use it. And this is how tedious that we modeled before TSC 4. Yes, the latest version. So it's that almost everything you have to manually adjust on the elevation. And also this have to locate on the column, make sure it's correctly tied with this one, 1001. Make sure you tie with
the
this
continuous question from the client, Chris, do you think worth it to adjust one by one?
Yes, exactly. That's why before that is that not much people are going to willing to use on this function is that they found the manual taking off is even faster than this one, right? But before I talking about the 2019 version, before that is that I do this because I want a better record.
All right.
Actually, I can tie the drawing directly on every of the single element. So in future, let's say this actually project is done on 20 few years back. Right now, I will look into this project, yes, and I will want to trace back all this drawing. I can able to trace very easily because I type all this drawing somewhere in the most.
Yeah. Again, will be the second point, the traceability.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Before that, I do this because of the traceability and the reporting system. Yeah.
So how do you adjust? Do you adjust the elevation one by one? Yeah.
Yes. Everything one by one.
So yeah, from here, yeah, I can see you're actually adjusting one by one here.
Yes, I see. Yes.
So the start elevation and elevation
For horizontal element, I use beam,
right?
and then we adjust on the end part and also on the end part the other side.
Yes.
And for the vertical section, I have to do like this. Just like I have to do on the steel column.
Yeah.
This green color.
Okay.
You see, I have to measure on the left of the section the input on the model.
Right.
Yes.
So although the process is tedious, as you said, most important is the traceability.
Yes.
The traceability.
During this time, do require quite a lot of skill. Do require skill actually. If you ask a trainee to do these things,
Yeah.
they were unable to do because of the elevation they have set and some of the features they have to master. So it will be not that simple to do.
Yes.
But compare with right now, the latest software is actually different. I'm showing this one in the next video. You actually see the difference with this two. Yeah, these are the part that actually save a lot of time for here.
Yeah. So for information, everyone, we actually have the steel for column, for beam, and also for slab. If you have any checker plates, all this kind of the design, you are able to use this slab. Okay, use this horizontal element, slab, beam, and also the column.
Exactly.
So now you're actually adjusting.
So right now, actually doing
You're moving. So this will be the bracing, I guess.
the middle part. There's a one still at the middle part over there.
Yeah. So from you guys, you can, if you are able to see, actually able to identify PSC, you need a lot of the adjustment on the elevations. Quite tedious, right?
Yes. Actually, this part is actually doing on the what do you call it? The diagonal part. See, this other drawback is that crash.
Okay. You will be having the overlapping one.
Yes, actually overlapping
So
issue.
you need to move it slowly, one time at times. Okay. Second attempt also again. Okay. Third time, maybe. Very successfully. Okay, right. It's been successfully done.
You see? Okay. So we have to worry about this during one-line version. Right now we don't need to worry about this anymore.
Yeah.
So we have to break each of them
One by one.
one by one.
Okay. You do it for the horizontal part, you do it for flat one, and then you break it, and then you change the elevation again.
Yes. Because I will do this part, you see. This part.
Right, the diagonal part. So here, I think you are
See how I do that. I just break. First of all, I draw. Then break. Take the column, the elevation that is key in, and copy and paste.
Yes.
I unlock the end part. Make sure the quantity of both sides is, separate.
So this is how you set the diagonal.
Yes.
Doable, everyone. Doable in DSC. Okay.
Yeah, doable in DSC, but right now we have new function. We don't do that anymore. So before that, as you can see, you require a lot of what do you call it? Skill.
Yeah.
You do need
Measure distance.
Yeah, measure distance, master quite a few functions before you can do this in the previous version.
Yeah.
So also Glodon did know that we have some problem on this area.
Yeah.
Eventually, I can say Glodon good is that they found it and then they improve the software further.
Enhancement.
Yes, to make the whole thing faster.
Yeah. So every year we do have different kind of versions. So different version we actually optimize the existing feature. We try to optimize, we try to gather all the feedback from the client, right? So it's anything that actually can be performed more faster in terms of productivity. So we listen it, we feedback to the latest versions, right? So this will be our duty in order to return to you guys on when you're using the Glodon software.
Yeah, exactly. So, Sam, how many of the Glodon staff actually work on the products? How many of them actually? I believe there are quite a lot in China.
Okay, so basically for Glodon product team actually in China, talking about the whole Glodon team in China, it will be around 5,000 to 6,000 employees, right? So there will be quite a lot, right? For information, QB Cost is only one of the product that Glodon brings to Malaysia. Okay, in China we have 100 or 200 over products that we have currently, right? So that will be the our sincerity, I can say, to return to the community in order to help on the AEC industry for the better productivity, the important thing, productivity, the traceability, okay, and also you know what you are doing, and at the end of the day, you bring out your own value as a QS.
Yes, right. Also, looks like we got some question over here.
Yeah, everyone, please stay with us for the question. Later, we're going to have a Q&A session.
Yeah, hold on a second.
So I think Chris is very excited to answer a question. And right. So this will be the one, okay, the PSC with the bracing, okay, the horizontal diagonal one.
Yeah, almost done. Back with me.
Okay, so this will be all the informations. We're going to batch select the whole thing. Right. So as we can see, it is here. We're going to select.
So right now, it's actually I want to mirror it to the other side.
Okay, you're going to be
Because it's duplicated on the next part here, top and the bottom part. And then once everything done, I have to copy on the next part, which is fill the whole trusses.
Yeah, so the tedious part, I think Chris will only do one time. Okay, you do it one time, you can actually refer to the move, you can actually copy, duplicate, mirror.
Yes. Please also take note that during this one, I use on steel column and steel beam.
Yeah.
On the next one, I'm not using this anymore because on the next feature, the TSC4,
Yeah.
we have a function that the beam can be select using the cat line can draw straight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so here goes the truss.
So this is the truss that we actually expecting for, right?
Yeah. See, some of the level is not completed, so we have to key in the level.
Yeah.
So after done, then have to copy and duplicate to every single
I
thing.
think you actually best select the whole thing.
Yes.
Then you just copy. Okay. So 3 more seconds, guys. Okay, you are able to see what is the end result that you can get on TSC.
And that's how we copy now. Copy one by one.
Okay, copy one by one. Here. So other than that, the rest we're going to mirror it.
Yes. You can mirror or you can copy, like select mostly of them and copy straight away.
I see.
Because this one is surplus extra.
Okay.
So this is how you model the whole
So this will be the end result, guys. The end result, we can actually, the very first beginning, you need to do the setting, you need to measure distance, set the elevation one by one. This will be the end result of the process in 12 minutes.
Version is C.
TSC using 12 minutes.
19 version.
Can surprise me more on some of the functions in TSC4, Chris?
Yes, right now we are showing you the same project, the same process. I do it twice.
Okay.
So in the next video,
this will be the next video.
Is using TSC4, right? And then this video is 3 minutes, right? So you can bear with me how this actually using the latest function, which we call the enchant function. Yeah. As you can see right now, the elevation is like separate directly before using the work plane.
Work plane function. We are using the work plane function.
Yes. I just have to move this drawing to the work plane, right? And then from here, adjust the drawing.
So you are actually moving it?
Yes, actually we got some height over here, right? It's not directly on the floor, it's at 400 above. So we can adjust this as well, right? So from here, this is the fastest function in this software. You can either use it drawn by itself manually.
Okay, you can use this line function, you can draw it.
Line function as usual. And also, yeah, there's a line function. Wait until you see how I click on this one. You have another function called the by cat line.
This one we're still using by cat line. So this will be the new function that we have.
That's the function that we're talking about. You see how fast I do all the vertical and also the diagonal.
So this by cat line function, you're able to identify the line based on the existing AutoCAD line that we have. So it will be auto generate out the members to you guys.
For your info, this is a cat converter PDF.
It's a CAD converter PDF, yes, everyone.
This is not
Okay.
a cat, it's a cat converter.
For those who attended my training, still remember there are how many sources of drawing. You still remember, put in the chat box. You might be the lucky draw winner later.
Lucky draw.
If we have the lucky draw. Right. Yeah. In few seconds, we already done all the bracing.
And you look at this part section, how fast I draw compare with just now.
Yes.
The same route.
So this will be the first one that you're going to.
Right now we just copy and then I use another function called mirror, directly mirror.
So this,
Instead of then, this function actually is the same.
We'll just copy everything. So I think why Chris is actually getting the real concept of modeling steel structure in C4, he can actually gain the differences. Why the differences is one is 12 minutes, one is 3 minutes. Okay, with the new function that we have. So I think Chris is actually choosing a very correct path, the correct path to try on. He insists to the client to try on. I want to use Glodon to model the steel structure.
Yes, what I can say is Glodon also done their part in improving and enhancing just a single function called steel, only located somewhere over here. So this features is actually included in the TSC software.
Yeah.
So you buy the whole software and you have this function as well.
Yeah.
So this function alone is improving. So we're not talking about other functions today. Until midnight, we will talk about this.
So you're able to get the report also?
Yes, this is a report. This after you calculate this report, it will generate. You can't see this one. Yeah, I told you about this. This is a report. The quantity, you have kg, you have
Surface area.
you have piece, and then you have meter, and then area for the section as well. And it's good.
Yeah, yes. So that will be the overall of C versus C4, or 12 minutes versus 3 minutes.
The lot in transfer improve on the operation part.
Right. So thank you very much, Chris, on your masterpiece. You actually stormed us quite very well. Right. So yes, for model-based cost information, what is actually the value for us to go through digitizations, right? It actually includes the estimator QS first. Okay, earlier in the planning stage, it allowed us to be more effectively in the construction cost estimation. That will actually lead to the growth of the model-based cost estimating, right? By using the BIM tools, okay, our QE cost, 5D BIM tools, okay, it will reduce the time consumptions and allow the QS to focus more on higher value factors, like identifying the construction assemblies and also the factoring risk. Okay, so again, as a QS, we know that quantifying is just one of a very tiny task, but it actually brings a lot of impacts to our total construction cost, right? Because back to the square, quantity times rate, it will be the amount. Yes, this will be the very basic one, and the very basic one is actually bring us back to square. Okay, so this will be the first important thing. Secondly, like Chris said, 3D visualizations. You visualize it in pre-construction stage. Steel structure, yes, steel structure, it will be, in steel structure, we are not using the issue for construction drawings. We are not modeling based on that. We are modeling based on shop drawing. Okay, on shop drawing, they will be back to the steel structural manufacturer. They need to base on shop drawing to construct it out. So this is very important, visualization of the project in the pre-constructions in order for it to reduce the wastage, right? Okay, by using the BIM, anyone can plan and visualize the entire project before the construction starts. Okay, it's actually able for you to view the 3D. It gives you an idea on the space, how it looks, and will offer you the ability to make changes before the construction works is initiated. Yeah, it increases the productivity, and also the prefabrication. Steel structure, we need prefabrication. It will be offsite. It will be not construction on site. Okay, it's different from the main bar. Okay, so main bar we have weightage. We control better 3%, 5% weightage. But with steel structure, if you wrongly bet one thing, okay, you will be wasting a lot of material. Quality very important again. Okay, so with that will be on our summary of by using our Glodon software, TAS, TRB, and also TBQ software, especially for TS, for steel structure for today. It's very important for you guys to get the very net amount, okay, very net amount from the shop drawing that we can get. Okay, so this brings you the value, and also you need to create your own value if the external asks question, what is actually QS doing for? Okay, as a QS, you need to create your own value, right? This will be the main purposes of converting to become the beam QS. That will be on our part on sharing. Thank you, Chris. But before I let you go, Chris, I know you are having a plane going back to your hometown. Okay, stay with us, everyone. So we have some questions. Okay, we still have some questions in the chat box. Right, I read through the question. Right,
I live Selangor. I have plane park in the basement here.
so I think this
the car.
I think these few days, Klang Valley area will be very smooth.
Yeah, I saw my client here. Hey, hello, Avi.
So who is that?
Hi, Chris.
Who are we? Okay, if are we? Okay, you can try to wave your hand, perhaps. Okay, the first question: bolt and nuts, can it be calculated? What's your point of view?
For me, is that before that I used to use point features, or maybe in the new features we have the quantity
Custom point.
custom point. Yes, custom point as well as custom the thick one as well.
The quantity, the legendary quantity.
Yes, from this one you can point around all the
by using the count, the 2D measurement
yes,
tools.
the count exactly the count. Because I know that Vivian Yap are asking about this, is that they want more specific on this area. They want to order how many bolts actually on that. By using this model alone, they can actually collect all the data just in a single model.
Yes.
And also in future use for scheme as well, you can actually, oh no, this is how actually can be. If you know, if you want to know more about this, we got some sales staff over here. So you can ask them to do some demonstrate. This can be done.
It can be done, yes.
Point and also the quantity.
Yeah. For information, our TAS software is not only able to build the 3D, we are also having the 2D measurement tools, the custom quantity. They are able to count it by number, they are able to rank it in meter run, and they are also to get the area in meter square. So we are also able to have the very last element that you see on the TAS functions there. Right. So the second question, the elevation functions at the diagonal area only for steel structure. Can it apply for the RC column and the jet roof? I think this one I might let me answer it. Okay. So for this one, yes, elevation. First of all, you need to make known the elevation. We have the floor elevation, also the NDT elevations, right? So the things what Chris just now showed, the elevation, you need to unlock the end elevations. So if you unlock the end elevation, you're able to adjust at every single coordinations in the software. Okay, so you are able to do it. Yes, it's doable. Chun Hok Han, right? Hope you get it, right?
Yeah, I think maybe you can demonstrate on that how actually be done. So I already demonstrated. I think that it's quite small.
Yeah.
Maybe too fast of it.
Yeah.
So golden scale then they will demonstrate.
Don't worry. If you have any question, we will giving you the feedback form later on. Okay, you're having a feedback form. You can let us know what you guys need, the assistance, and also we're going to demonstrate to use lively in person. Maybe after Raya I can visit you in person. Right. So we have some question. Right. Can TAS able to capture the various size of steel structure members? I think this question is asking about on the, let's say you have combinations, different dimensions, various sizes. How do you think, Chris?
Yeah, just like a beam here size is bigger and then they become smaller.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so in this software right now in 3D itself, you are able to see. Okay. So it's like a straight straight steel. However, the quantity can be adjusted manually. Okay. It's like adjust in one of the custom kg, and also once the kg adjusted, then the actual report of quantity is actually telling on what you want.
Yeah.
But however, the 3D you can't do it too much. Like
Yeah.
with the Glodon future, we
Yes.
have better on this one.
Yeah.
So at the moment, is that we get the quantity correct because
Yeah.
this is actually by the software. Right?
Yeah. So thank you, Damon, and also thank you, Chris. Brings up this one of the functions, one of the things that maybe Glodon or productive miss out. Okay, we're going to improve on this part on those various sizes of the team. Okay, thank you, thank you, Damon. Right, the next one, it will be if I have specific steel structure weight design. Okay, so am I able to create a custom value in the TS software? Right. So this question, yes, okay, like what Chris said, in our software, it actually preset the standard code. Okay, very organized standard code. You have UC, SHS, the CHS, circular hollow section, all the type of the steel with the standard code, with the properties kg per meter. Okay, so if you have any custom, yes, you do able to input the value into it, right?
Yes, you can manually set a new name and then put it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
Yes, you need a custom one.
Yeah, usually is that for mostly us is that the consultant say, hey, can I adjust this around 50% because in BQ that you can adjust added 50% or 10% for the connection part.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually they will ask about this. In software, it can be adjust this as well inside all the skill.
I think I see something in attribute editor.
Yes. You can ask Glodon software, they will explain to you in more detail. So you can adjust inside the software itself, or you can just put it in BQ and then you get this is a net figure. Yeah, you carry to a BQ from there, you directly times with the 15%.
Yeah. Okay. So very last question. Okay, the very last questions, right? From Billion, right? So can measure steel plate separate by different ticks to summarize the quantity by category for steel plate?
Stupid.
How do you
Put it very simple. So we are put it very simple. So if you want things like by number, do things by number.
Yeah.
So you can use another figure. It's called the same figures now that I just measured. You can the quantity measure features and also the point form.
Yes.
Yeah. From this one, you capture the numbers.
Yes.
Then let's say how many steel plate you just, but you can't view 3D.
Yeah.
You just view a technique or a simple like a object over there.
Yes.
But you can't do actual 3D is whole steel plate on the line, but the number is there.
Yeah. So you're able to quantify it, okay, but you're unable to see the 3D because we are using the 2D tools again, the count, length, area, right? So yes, so with that, thank you everyone. So thank you everyone for attending for today's workshop, and thank you Chris a lot, right? So hope you guys stay safe when you want to drive back to your hometown. Okay, before you drive back to your hometown, before you pack your luggage, everything, remember in the chat box, we do have the feedback form. Okay, we do value your feedback, like Chris just now, when I mentioned just now, already have one of the requirements that we actually miss out for the various size of the element, right? So you may fill it by clicking on the link feedback form links here. So everyone, we do appreciate, and please click on the links and stay safe. And Chris, the last word to everyone.
So when they click on send me feedback, they have a Raya biscuit.
Raya biscuit. I might need to personally visit everyone's company.
Okay, you hear what they say, just say it.
Yeah. Once again, thank you, Chris.
Okay.
And thank you everyone for attending today's workshop. And see you guys on the next workshop. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.